YouTube, I'm Ty from the Gaming Helm. Now, as you saw in the intro, this will be the final retro vintage episode for the foreseeable future. We might go back to it, but for the time being, I want to get back to doing some current games, especially with some new and exciting stuff coming out, such as Resident Evil Revelations 2, not to mention Mortal Kombat 10. Oh god, it's going to be awesome. Plus, there's a couple other games I got in the works, so you know what? Stay tuned. Things are about to get awesome. Not to mention, in the weeks to come, we might see a couple familiar faces back on the show as special guests, and maybe even a new one. Who knows? So stay tuned. We got it coming. Now, today's episode, the Mega Rockman. Mega Man X series was always the greatest of all the Super Nintendo series I've always played. It's how it started for me, and it's since expanded and evolved onto later consoles like the PlayStation, and sort of peaked at the PlayStation 2. There hasn't been a Mega Man game in quite a long time, which is unfortunate. This series had such potential due to the whole philosophical edge that robots are rebelling against their creators, sort of like how children will always rebel against their parents, or you can even go further to a religious philosophical point of view, such as, you know, God created man in his own image, just like how humans created the robots and they rebelled anyway, cast themselves out of paradise. There's a lot of different metaphors you can look at, but that's not the point. Today, we're looking at Mega Man X Command Missions. The last Mega Man game, chronologically, story-wise, that's been released for quite a long time, and it's so much different than the usual side-scrollers that we've all known and loved. It's an RPG. It's basically a perfect crossbreed between Mega Man X and Final Fantasy, and that's a good thing, so check it. Now, I usually don't enjoy spoiling fun for everyone else. I'm not all about giving away all the plot twists, but I'm going to tell everyone right up front, there is no Sigma in this game. Sigma is gone, and hopefully he's never coming back, because they beat that dead horse way too much. There's going to be a fresh villain, a fresh rebellion in this game, completely original to the Mega Man X series, keeping I guess you could say, the story fresh and interesting. There's going to be a plot twist. As you can see, Mega Man right now can run around the static environment. He and Zero, along with a new Maverick Hunter by the name of Shadow, have been called up to quell the rebellion of an enemy force that calls himself the Rebellion Army, led by a big-ass dude looking a lot like Sigma, who shares all the same ideals as Sigma. His name is Epsilon. Yes, Epsilon. And let's just say things go south pretty fast. That's what usually happens when they walk into unawares, followed by a quickie betrayal. And despite trying to improvise, Zero goes bye-bye, probably dead. And poor old X, he finds himself ridiculously outclassed and outnumbered. He can only do one thing to survive this lofty encounter: jump! Every chapter in this game starts out just like all the old games did, a little brief glimpse of the boss at the end of every level, and I like how it's all shadowy. You can't really see what you're going to get yourself into. Mega Man's hard at work at making new friends with a untrustworthy bounty hunter. Good choice in friendship. You are a great judge of character. And just like all great RPGs, the best way to make friends with someone is to prevent them from attempting to kill you. Yeah. Throughout the most RPGs I've ever played, it's the same old thing. To earn an enemy's respect, you have to fight them. If they win, you die. If you win, they do not die, but they join you, become your new best buddies for life. And it's pretty much a redundant way of doing things that really doesn't make any sense to me, but hey, what are you going to do? Now, let's get down to the brass tacks, the combat of this game. It's really solid. It's time-based, turn-based. It's not time-based. It is just turn-based. And unlike previous installments to the Mega Man X series, X doesn't have to wander around the whole world looking for those little hidden Dr. Light capsules to upgrade his armor. No, in this game, he's already got it. The Hyper Mode. Very cool way on how to fight an enemy. It just really makes fights a little bit more strategically realistic, giving you not so much an edge, but more of a level playing field. You could upgrade your Hyper Mode a little bit later on in the game, because let's face it, what's an RPG without hunting down all these little goodies that'll make your character that much stronger? But there's no grand secret to beating this game or any other real RPG just like it. By the way, that's the Hyper Mode right there. It looks like a conquering emperor of some sort. And as I was saying, there's no grand secret about beating this game or any other typical RPGs like it. All you gotta do is increase the XP of your character. You gotta soup him up. You gotta max out all his stats, and usually you do that, most bosses won't even be a big deal for you. Very, very realistic on the expectation list on how you can defeat most enemies. And yeah, good luck to you. The game does get pretty hard in some places, but like I said, just make sure your character's stats are pretty high, keep a cool head. Each boss has its own strategies that you must approach. You keep that all in mind, you'll be able to do just fine. The graphics, even compared to today's current gen consoles, are pretty decent. I'm not gonna lie. The coloring is really bright and maybe not even realistic, but hey, that's what they do in Japan. They go for the bright rainbow, you know? They like all the bright different colors and, you know what, the patterns. And it really just makes this game shine in its own way, and it just adds a lot of strong depth and context, text to the whole scenery, the setting, the background, the mood that this game can set with all this in mind. Really just goes well with it. The game has great pacing, great story, a very rich cast of characters if I do say so myself, and on top of that, it keeps you wanting to keep playing. Even if you beat the game, there's also a lot of replayability, like little hidden nuggets, boss fights that are even tougher than the boss at the end of the game. Just like typical Final Fantasy games, there's always a hidden boss that's even tougher than the last boss, right? Am I right or am I right? That said, this game really just comes together in a nice little package. And I know there might be a little bit of confusion as to why I called this episode the Mega Rockman. It's because in Japan, Mega Man's called Rockman. There you go. Activating Mega Man's little hyper mode, he gives him the ability to increase his health and his endurance, plus making his little super attack that much more lethal to this little boss. And it's each character has a specific limit break meter that builds up after every turn. As long as you refrain from using your item capture or twin missiles that quickly drain it, you just hit the A button, letting your primary attack throughout the turn. Then yeah, it builds up that much quicker. And if your hyper meter is build up, or your limit meter, whatever you want to call it, builds up good enough, you can use a limit break ripoff. For example, Spider at this moment is going to activate his special sub-tank. Get some health back, like a potion in Final Fantasy. Come on, I'm waiting. Don't make me look bad. Yeah, sub-tanks, just like in all the other previous Mega Man games, have been used. They are pretty handy because they act as potions to keep you from dying. Every boss has their own ultimate attack, like so. In this case, it doesn't do too much against Mega Man's hyper mode, but it does, like I said, the bosses as well as the game, it gets tougher as you go. Finally, here you go. You're making me look bad, guy. Yeah, you have to pick a pair, I guess. You pick a hand, I guess. I pick a pair. Limit break is activated, and I could pick a 2/10. Oh, not enough time. It's a time limit. Booyah! A measly 400 and change damage. Whoop-de-doo. Meanwhile, Mega Man's limit break can do 1,500. But hey, who's keeping count, right? Like I said, like all typical RPGs, all you gotta do is calm the hell down. Be cool and relax. Yeah, you approach it with a clear, cool, collective conscience of mind. You don't freak out, you'll do just fine. And I also must state for the record, just like in all previous Mega Man games, the bosses, when they die, blow big, very satisfyingly. Wrapping up today's vintage episode, and like I said, for now, it is the final, but it may not be the last one we see permanently. We'll just see what happens in the future. But, like I said, I want to get back to current games. Mega Man X Command Missions is a pretty good way to end a series, but like I said with X, you just want more. Give me more! Hopefully, one day we'll get another Mega Man X game, but you know what? Honestly, realistically, I'm not holding my breath, and that's just a shame. It's been too long since I played a Mega Man X game. Currently, anyway. I still play this one today as well as all the old ones, especially since I got the bundle that, you know, has the X collection. It has like Mega Man X through 6, Mega Man X through X6 on it. Really good deal for $20 on GameCube. You can't beat it. Good price, good price. Probably even cheaper now. That's how much I paid for it when it came out. So who knows, right? Might be even cheaper now. Depends where you might shop. Some people might jack up the price because it's rare to find now. Anyways, I digress. This game, all in all, it is Final Fantasy meets Mega Man. I give it a solid, enthusiastic 7.5 out of 10. This was a great game. You like Mega Man X? Then no collection's complete without this one. So, I hope you enjoyed this installment of the Gaming Helm. I personally enjoyed making it. Try not to laugh too much at my new haircut. Okay, I'm trying something new. Haters. You. Haters. Take it easy.